Ladies and gentlemen, this performer that you're about to see has traveled all over the country doing magic. He's performed at Lincoln Center, Monday Night Magic, which is New York's longest-running off-Broadway magic show. This, however, is his Magic Castle debut. And his mom's really, really proud of him. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Feldman.
So actually, the first thing I'd like to talk with you guys about today is this. Pretty much after every single show I do, whether it's here, New York City, wherever it is, people always want to come up to me after the show and talk about what it would be like to have real magic powers. And every single time they think that it would be this awesome thing, that you could just do anything at the drop of a hat. It's like Harry Potter, swish, flick, and fixed your glasses, right? No fans of the first movie in here? Fuck. But I don't think it's necessarily like that. I think if you were born with magic powers, and it just so happens I was, you might not have any more control over what they are than, say, your hair or eye color, right? Could be anything. So I have here a magician's annual salary. Thank you for thinking that's funny. I find it kind of depressing myself. But no, if you were born with a magic power, it could be anything. And it might look like this. That's right. Yeah, amazing, impossible, but it sucks. But that could be what happens, right? And that's why I don't like thinking about real magic powers. I much prefer sleight of hand, misdirection, showmanship. Because with sleight of hand, even though you know it's not real, even though you know it's only temporary, you can create the illusion that those 20 Yet another mystery for the ages. So let's talk about sleight of hand, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd actually like to show you the first piece of sleight of hand I ever learned. Would you like to see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. It involves one of these. This is a Morgan silver dollar. It's a very, very old coin. This is from 1901. You guys can see that. For those of you in the back row, if you had just paid a little bit more, you too could have read the date on a coin, honestly. But here's the first effect I ever learned. You take the coin, you place it in the other hand like so, and then with some kind of impromptu magic wand, like here, I'll use I got a pen. Give it a little wave and a tap, and the coin vanishes. Great. I didn't say it was a good trick. I just said it was the first one I ever learned. But I have been working on it and trying to improve it over time, so that now, when that coin comes back, it looks a little bit better. So that now, when the pen comes back to make the coin vanish, that looks a little cleaner every time. But even that is relatively early on in the stages of the evolution of a magic effect. It starts here with just the coin, and you add the pen, you try to make it a little bit cleaner, but eventually, I realized you don't actually need the coin. Because if you think about it, every pen has two parts, right? It has the cap part, and it has the pen part. Now, if you wave over the cap part, it doesn't vanish. It's not exactly like the coin, but, well, you'll see. Now, for those of you in the back row, again, I had the cap. It was over here in my hand, and I tossed it. I don't mean to be patronizing, but it's a blue cap and a blue pen, so that may be difficult to see for those of you back there, and I like to help you out with that kind of stuff, so we can fix that.
Nice.
And that should be a little bit easier to see. Is that easier to see now? Yes. Is that better? Good. Now, with a red cap and a blue pen, it works a little bit differently. Instead of jumping back onto the pen, this time, yeah, it'll vanish like that. You can kind of see it right over here like that, but then if you put the pen inside the cap, yeah, the pen's gone. You can see it. Can you see the pen inside there? It's actually inside the cap. And instead of waving and tapping on the hand, as we did with both the coin and the cap, we just tap on the cap itself, just like this. It'll vanish. We tap on the palm of the hand, that's once, twice, 3 times. The cap comes back, but the pen is gone. Now, the pen ends up here. Now, I have no idea how it gets there. That is a mystery even to me. But I do know that you can use the pen kind of like an impromptu magic wand to make that cap vanish. The cap then takes the place of the pen. Do you remember where the pen was? And when you have 2 objects like this that like to disappear and you put them together, you sometimes get this strange optical illusion where it looks like the pen is gone entirely, but we said before, it's only sleight of hand. It has to be here the whole time. But you'll notice what I said right there. When you have 2 objects like this that like to disappear and you put them together, this is what happens when you've been doing magic too long. You start to anthropomorphize your props and give them wants and needs and desires that they probably don't have. It is a little bit unhealthy for me to do. But you know, we started with the coin, right? We made it vanish, and we added the pen and made it a little bit cleaner. But then at the end, the coins were gone. We didn't use the coins anymore, and now the coins are set. Which is just a silly way of introducing this. A coin. No, but this is all about illusion, right? It's about using sleight of hand to create the illusion of real magic powers, and this effect is all about illusion. In fact, I call it the ancient illusion of the 3 coins. Sir, do you know why I call it the ancient illusion of the 3 coins? I'll give you a hint.
3 coins.
3 coins. That's exactly correct. It uses 3 coins, and I came up with it in 2008. But this coin here, this coin is the trick. This coin is the coin that gives the trick its name, right? These 2 over here are real. You can see them, you can hear them. It's this one that's the illusion, leaving us with only 2. Of course, now I feel bad because I lied to you, and I'm sorry about that. Only one of these coins is real, and one of them is an illusion. And that's why, as I toss them from hand to hand, you can't actually hear them clinking together. Leaving us with only 1. And of course, this last coin is real. Instead, it is the illusion that this last coin is gone. Of course, not only can objects be illusion, action can be illusion as well, because it looked in the beginning like I took that coin out of the coin purse, when in fact, they never left us. Of course, theoretically, that is the easy part of this effect, for me. Getting the coins to vanish one at a time while outside of the coin purse is relatively easy, because I can use sleight of hand, I can manipulate the coins. But getting them to vanish all at the same time, while inside the coin purse, while isolated inside the coin purse, is actually very difficult. Would you like to see that trick? Good. Because honestly, I don't know what I would have done if you said anything else. I'll try this. Would you please open up that coin purse and show everyone what's inside? Empty, yes?
Yeah.
Now, you can't see the coins, and I can't see the coins. But you can't see the coins because they're illusions. I can't see them because I can't see anything at all. In fact, it's not until I can see anything that those coins come back. But that's what it is, right? It's creating the illusion of real magic with sleight of hand. And what better way to do that than this one? The deck of cards. Because quite honestly, this is my favorite part of doing magic. Because with card magic, you know exactly what you're getting. 52 pieces of paper, 2 hands, and some sleight of hand. Now, for the first person to help me out with this particular effect, you do get a prize. Of course, now that you've seen my annual salary, this is your prize. It's a folded up playing card with a little paper clip, which will stay here for this portion of the show. And I do like to get people involved in this portion of the show who are even beyond card selection range easily. So, sir, what's your name?
David.
David. I'm Michael. Very nice to meet you. Since you're a little bit far away to take a card out, what I'm going to do is riffle back the corner of the deck like this. You'll say stop at some point, and that will be your card. Can you see the cards from there? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and say stop whenever you...
Stop.
Right there?
Yeah.
That'll be your card, and a couple of other people on this side of the audience can see it as well. Yes? Good. And what was your name you helped me out before? Michael. Oh, good. That's easy to remember. My name is also Michael. Same thing. Just go ahead and say stop whenever you'd like. Right there. A couple of people on this side of the audience can see that as well. Great. So, hopefully, you can see now that your cards, each of them, are somewhere in the middle of the deck, not middle-ish, not too near the top or too near the bottom. Yes? Yes and yes? Good. So, what's your name? Nikki. Can you shuffle cards? Good. So, I just like you to give these cards a quick shuffle. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. You can do a riffle shuffle if you'd like, but you can also do anything as long as those cards are mixed up. Normally I would mix up the cards, but audiences tend not to believe me when I do that, and so hence this. Very nice. And go ahead and give those a cut. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Good. And I'll take those back. And David, yes?
Yep.
David, what was the name of your card?
Two diamonds.
Two of diamonds. Interestingly, if you look through the cards now, you will see that there is no two of diamonds anywhere in the pack. Now you may be wondering to yourself, why would a magician like me have a deck of cards with no two of diamonds? The answer is misdirection. Because I have sneakily taken that card out of the deck and placed it over here, underneath. My drink. Now, lest you think I am doing something sneaky, which of course I am. David, would you please pass this back to David? And would you take the two of diamonds and the glorified Sharpie marker there, and would you write your name on that, or draw a smiley face or a star, something to make that card unique, so that you know that there's nothing going wrong with that card specifically. And also, and then you can pass that right back. And since this is step one in creating the illusion of real magic with sleight of hand. That is trick number 2. Thank you. And since this is step 1 in creating the illusion of magic, I'll also write a little 1, or a relatively big 1 actually, right there on the card. Now, Michael, yes? Would you, you selected a card as well. Could you hold out your right hand? Yeah, sorry, I'm terrible with directions on the other side. What was the name of your card? The 7 of clubs, yes? On the count of 3, will you lift up Dave's card and show it to everyone in the audience? Wait, 1, 2, 3. That is very interesting. But if you were watching that, you may have missed it. When over here, underneath the glass, appeared 1 card. Of course, if you were looking at that, you may have missed it. When over here, underneath the card box, there landed 1 card. And that, of course, is your 7 of clubs and your 2 of diamonds. Now, we'll try to do this one more time. This time, under test conditions. Now, I have no idea what that means. Other than it will be very difficult for me. We'll try this. What's your name? Stacy. Would you reach in and just touch the back of any card you like, anyone? That one right there? Yes. So take a look at that. You can all see that. Now, You know exactly what I'm about to do, and approximately how I'm going to do it, and with what I'm going to do it. So this is very difficult for me. So I'll make it just a little bit easier. Your 5 of diamonds. I know it's cheating, but it's my show. I'm allowed to do that. No. You have to be careful because if you're watching the glass, you might miss over here underneath the card box when there is one card, that being your 5 of diamonds. However, if you're watching that, you may have missed the one card over here underneath the card box, that being your 7 of clubs. And that, of course, is step 1. Of course, if misdirection is step 1, then step 2 has to be doing the impossible, right? Because it's not a magic effect, it's not a magic trick, it's really not magic of any kind, unless what you're seeing is impossible. And the problem with most magic is that you never have proof that what you've seen is real magic. So I should point out at this point that there's another reason to have a card selected like this, which is this. If I hand out the cards like this, and you select a card, you take one out, you show it around, and then you hand it back to me, and allow me to place the card back in the deck, that gives me an opportunity to do something sneaky. An opportunity I am happy to avail myself of. So this way, if you were only looking at this, you know that I couldn't have taken the card out of the deck or placed it back in. Also, you know that I can't have seen the front of your card, because even if I'm looking away, or especially if I'm looking away, I can't see the front of your card. And even if these cards were marked, they're not, but even if they were marked, when you look at a card like this, I'm only looking at the back of the deck, so I can't even see the back of your card. And when you're trying to create proof that what you've seen is magic, that kind of clarity is very important. So, what was your name, sir?
Eddie.
Eddie. Same thing. I'm just going to ripple the cards back. Go ahead and say stop whenever you'd like.
Stop.
Right there. And you guys can all see this. Yes? Great. But this time, I want you to know even more about this effect than that. So as I go through, I would like you to see your card. Not only should you see your card, but make sure that there's only one of it anywhere in the deck, and that it's not on top or bottom. Yes? Do you see it somewhere?
Yes.
Good. Not on top or bottom, right?
Yep.
Good. Now here is the interesting part. This is the part I find fascinating. Because magic is the only discipline, it's the only art form, where the more you know, the less you understand. Because you know quite a bit about this effect right now. You know that I couldn't have seen the front or back of your card, that I never took it out or put it back in, that there's only one of your card that is in the middle and not on top or bottom, yes?
Yes.
So it's very difficult to understand how your card could possibly be here. Now, lest you think I am doing something sneaky, which of course I am. Would you please take the jack, you pass that back to him, and same thing, would you write your name on that, or a smiley face, a star, something to make it unique, so that we know there's nothing wrong with that. Very nice. Now the next problem with creating proof of magic, oh, and I should point out that because the impossible is step 2, I'll also draw a 2 on there, yes? Now, the next problem with creating proof of the impossible is that I'm handling the cards. As clean and as fair as any of this may be, I'm still handling the cards and moving them around. And maybe that's not fair. So we'll try to fix even that. What's your name, ma'am? Sorry?
Joyce.
Joyce. Great. Would you help me out with this? Wonderful. I'm going to come over here, and would you just lift off about half of those cards? Nice. And we'll place back a jack of spades, and leave that there. Now, I won't move the cards. I won't shift them around at all. In fact, all I'll do is square them up like so, and yet still, it's very difficult to understand how your card could possibly be here. But that's still not proof of magic, right? It's still not proof. Because you could go home tonight, you could all go home tonight and say that you saw, quite possibly, the greatest magician ever to have lived. And you will likely say that. But there's no proof. I could even give you this jack of spades. You could go home with this and you could say, look, this is the jack of spades that kept coming to the top of the deck. and still your friends would think you were crazy, right? Because it's not impossible for this card to be on the top of the deck. It's only impossible that the card was put in the middle, and then it comes to the top. It's a temporal thing. It's a time element that's important in almost all of Magic, and that's why it's so difficult to get proof. But we're going to try to overcome even that. What's your name? Trevor. I'm Michael. Nice to meet you. Would you also just say stop whenever you'd like as I go through the cards? Stop. Right there. You get the Sharpie now? And what's your name, sir? Corey. Corey. Would you please draw a portrait of Corey? It can be as interpretive as you like. Anything you'd like. Smiley face is fine. Whatever you'd like.
You got it, Trevor.
Nice. And would you also write a 3 on there, because this is going to be proof. Is going to be step 3 in creating the illusion of real magic. So there's the 6 of spades, which for now will stay face down in the deck, and then you will get to select the next card. Would you also say stop as I go through anywhere with you? Stop. Right there. Now you get the Sharpie. I'll also hold this for you easel style, and you get to return the favor. Would you please also draw a portrait there as stylistic or as interpretive as you'd like?
Ooh.
Very nice. And you will draw a 4 on there for step 4 of the arbitrary number of steps I've decided are in the illusion of creating. That's very nice. It's a little like the hand puppet. I don't even know what those are called. So we've got your 8 of diamonds and your 6 of spades. Yes? Now we're going to try to do the exact same effect as before, but this time simplified greatly. Because before it was rising through a number of cards and you didn't know what they were. Now we only have 2. Both cards will be signed, and instead of me shifting the cards around, instead of me not shifting the cards around at all, they will be entirely out of my hands. Trevor, would you hold out your hand, palm, your left hand, palm up, right here on the table in front? Or would you hold out your hand, palm down, like so? Great. Now we've got your 8 of diamonds and 6 of spades. Would you cover those up with your hand, please? 8 of diamonds currently on top, and of course, there's no other of your cards in the deck, as we saw. Now it will rise to become the top card while in your hands, entirely out of my hands. Are you ready for that? If not, we can rinse. No, go ahead, lift up your hand. Aha! It worked. Okay, I sensed some skepticism, and that's okay. But I said that it would rise to become the top card, yes? And that's not 2 cards. That is 1 card. 8 of diamonds, signed here. 6 of spades. Not 2 cards put together, but 1 card. Proof positive that you have seen magic here today. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, one last thing. It all comes full circle. Because that's step 4. That's step 3. That is step 2. And of course, that from the very beginning of the show is step 1 in creating the illusion of real. Yeah! Thank you very much, guys. My name is Michael Feldman. It's been a pleasure entertaining all of you.
Your attention, please. Please yell if you are paying attention.